Hey everybody, this one is probably going to be a quick one too, because again, my family's coming home soon. But like I mentioned in previous posts, that I will be touching for the next couple of videos on more of the family dynamic and relationship dynamics. So again, like I mentioned before, this is near and dear to me, as it has come up in the last week or so. If you've watched some of my videos previously, I've mentioned that I am in the process of doing a software startup launch. And my husband is also incredibly busy in his job. Also, as I've mentioned before, he is an ISFP. So quite a bit different in our personality types. So this example is about having a disagreement between the two personality types in my household. Obviously, like we've mentioned before, the scope for these personality types are varied, so by no means am I putting a stereotype on anyone. But this particular case is my husband had mentioned that he needed to stay out for a couple hours after work to go and look at a couple of vehicles for his work. And that was fine. I could care less. Just go do what you got to do. And when I noticed that he wasn't answering after it'd been like multiple hours, he wasn't answering texts. He ended up coming home and he had the guilty look on his face. And right now, at the same time, we have a project manager that is working with me that is also staying at the house. So he got to have front row seats for this little exchange. And my husband came in, and what happened was, my personality type is I want to draw out what they have to say before I make an opinion. And so it was a little bit of a standoff, I guess, on having conversation. And it was awkward because me pulling him to the side would have been worse, because it would have made the fellow that was there also more feeling like he's in the way. So anyways, the continuation of this example is he ended up having the discussion with me, and through the discussion I find out that he has decided to go out with his business partner. And honestly, I would never care one way or another. Just be honest with what you're doing, so I can make sure that I know I have to put, the kids to bed or do that type of thing, which is fine. But when I have expectations that my children are wanting to see their dad, and it turns out that it's not the case, then there's a little bit of issues that I have to go and mediate. So anyways, the interesting thing about this piece is that this is something that does happen to us quite a bit. I don't know if it's a male-female thing, an INTJ female thing with an ISFP. I'd love to hear people's comments on this if they've had experiences that are similar. But as the conversation continued, it wasn't heated at all. It was more just discussing. And immediately, when we got into the part that was more potentially defensive on his end, it was, and this is the interesting part that I want to hear comments from viewers on, he decided to go straight to the incredulous and the idea that, oh, well, then I just have to stop everything. And he just made overt statements that were completely outside the realm of the conversation. So again, I don't know if that's a personality type or if that is certain dynamics, but I do feel potentially in a way that it could be a personality type thing, because my personality type is, well, since I'm an introvert, I tend to not want to go out regardless. So if I say I'm going to be home at a certain time, I'll be home, or I'll let you know that I'm going to stay out later, or whatever, but I'll continue to communicate with you because I respect your time and understanding what difficulties or things that you might need in managing your time. And so that piece where it goes straight to defensive mode bothers me because it's outside the scope of logic. The need to go straight to that type of behavior is difficult. And the end of our conversation ended up actually quite good. We ended up having a secondary conversation after, once we were alone, and we were able to make a discussion about open communication and reaffirming that, just making sure that I know what my time allotments are and I'm able to manage my time accordingly. And basically it does hinge on the idea of respect through communication. So anyways, I'd like to hear any comments on this, and love to hear if anyone has similar experiences or not similar experiences. Thanks again for watching, and I'll try and post a little bit more regularly this week. Thanks so much.